Hey YouTube! Today's video is all about our favorite topic, anxiety about anxiety. But before we jump in, let's get a grip on what anxiety actually is. Well, anxiety is that jittery, uneasy feeling that we all get. It's like when you're about to go on the first date and are worried about spilling your drink or saying something awkward, or that pounding heart that you get while waiting for a job interview, or the panic that sets in when you get a flat tire in the middle of nowhere and your brain starts cooking up all of the worst case scenarios. So usually anxiety is about something external. So wondering if you left the stove on, did you? Or stressing about the credit card bill after an online shopping spree. So this kind of anxiety is part of life and nope, there is no getting rid of it. So you can usually point to the thing that is making you anxious. But here is where it gets tricky, when anxiety latches onto anxiety itself. So imagine that you're stressed about a presentation at work, but now instead of just worrying about messing up, you'll start to worry about the worry itself. It's like a never-ending cycle of anxiety, worry nested into worry, until it becomes this seemingly unbreakable cycle. Let's break this down together with a concrete example. So let's say Mike has lost his job and naturally is now in full-on crisis mode. After getting his notice, Mike dives into job hunting, firing off applications left and right. Weeks pass and no good offers come in, and Mike's stress is naturally through the roof. From the moment Mike heard the bad news, his fight-or-flight response kicked in. This means he got the full package: racing heart, difficulty breathing, tense muscles, and a rush of adrenaline. But did he notice these changes? Well, no, not really. But why? Because his focus was on the external stressor, his job situation, not on his body and how his body was reacting to the stress. But after weeks of heightened stress, Mike starts to notice that he's super sensitized. One night while lying in bed, his thoughts are all over the place and he can't seem to turn them off. Then, out of nowhere, a weird thought pops into his head. Man, what if you're about to lose it? And bam, you see? Now that is the moment where the anxiety moves from being about something external to internalizing. Now it's not just about his job situation, now it's about his sanity. So why does this happen? There are a few reasons, but the biggest culprit is sensitization and not understanding how it works. When people start experiencing sensations like depersonalization or racing heart, they naturally freak out because they don't know that these sensations can be caused by sensitization. And because Mike doesn't understand that, he now naturally begins to worry and obsess over his sensations and starts wondering if this is how people start losing their minds. Of course, then he starts comparing his experience to all the movies he's seen about how going insane could look like. And of course, he will find similarities and think, oh my God, this is me. I'm about to go crazy. And of course, all this leads to a perfect existential storm. Existential external fear about the job situation and existential internal fear about losing his mind. So what is at the heart of anxiety about anxiety? It all boils down to these four key factors. Number one, we have a trigger. So in this case, racing thoughts and the fear of losing his mind. Then there is some misconception, like racing thoughts are not normal, and negative appraisal. So this now must mean that I'm losing my mind. And then number four is some form of destructive behavior, like avoidance, constantly seeking reassurance, or any form of control. Think about it this way. If you started fearing that you're about to lose your mind, what would you naturally do? Start obsessively monitoring your own thoughts? Googling first symptoms of going insane? Or maybe start avoiding situations like being alone with the kids, just in case. Mike's behavior, in this case reassurance-seeking, control behaviors, then only confirm his anxious mind's suspicion that there might be something wrong with him. And what happens next? His stress system kicks into overdrive, pouring even more stress hormones into his body, which not only make him feel worse, but give him even more reasons to believe that he's on the brink of losing it. Over time, Mike also starts to experience depersonalization, so a sense of detachment from himself. And now it's almost impossible to convince Mike that he's not about to lose it. Can you see why anxiety about anxiety becomes this tangled mess? Because the stressor never ends. You see, when you have anxiety about an external thing, at some point the stressor ends, meaning you get the job, the crisis gets resolved. At some point it's dealt with. But in anxiety about anxiety, when you are the stressor, it never ends, because as long as you perceive your own body and your mind and the sensation it produces as dangerous, your brain will try to help you and keep your body in a high alert state. You see, in Mike's case, he got afraid of going crazy because his trigger was weird, anxious, intrusive thoughts. But you can replace wild or intrusive thoughts with a skipped heartbeat, or with difficulty breathing or dizziness. All the physical and mental sensations that can be brought about by nervous sensitization can become a new source to fear. This is exactly how harmless heart palpitations can morph into a fear of a heart attack, or tingling sensation can turn into a fear of a stroke or a neurological disease, for instance. And of course, every minor change in your body and mind can trigger a fear of a panic attack. Anxiety about anxiety is like battling an enemy that you can't see but can feel constantly. It feels like it haunts you day and night. It's like trying to escape your own shadow. The more you fight, the more intense the anxiety gets. Same in Mike's case. Even after he got a great job, he continues to experience high levels of anxiety. And this is because he got caught in the anxiety about anxiety loop. But the biggest and most important question is, how do you break this cycle? Well, the key is to unlearn the false interpretations and let go of the control behaviors. But in order to do that, the first important step is to normalize your experience. Normalization is the most important thing, because only when you truly understand what is going on with you, you can begin to unlearn the things that are fueling the fire. And the Dear Response is designed to help you with exactly that, step by step in a clear and straightforward manner. If you want to learn more about the Dear Response, then check out our Dear app. It's packed with all the resources that you need to tackle the anxiety head-on. Whether you're dealing with panic attacks, generalized anxiety, depersonalization, and/or intrusive thoughts, we got you covered. From our popular daily dares, where we cover all things anxiety, to guided meditations, wellness content to help you desensitize faster, everything at your fingertips. Plus, we host live webinars twice a month where you can submit your questions and my colleague Michelle and I answer them during the live call. So guys, I hope this helped you understand your experience or that of a loved one a little better. Stay tuned for more anxiety resources, and in our next video we will dive into the physical and mental sensations of anxiety. So make sure that you subscribe to not miss it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.